Breaking news, as Mark Meadows confirms this channel is reporting for almost 3 weeks. Yesterday's reporting that you're getting a second stimulus check. The deal is going to be hatched by Senate leaders, both Republicans and Democrats, and the deal will be done next week. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's morning to LLA. Hope you're good and safe. The toast is toasting, the butter's buttering, the coffee's percolating, and I'm percolating because I'm so excited for you. Really incredible breaking news minutes ago as Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff to Donald Trump, spoke extensively about the second stimulus package, what's going to be happening, and boy, I gotta tell you, there was never a time that you love the purple power. It is now. You gotta like and subscribe to this channel, like this video as well, because boy, Mark Meadows minutes ago just confirmed everything that I've been reporting yesterday night in the special about what's going to happen with the stimulus in September with Mitch and the Senate, everything that I reported about the check, everything that I reported in that special the day before about the Temple of Doom and the incorrect numbers on the bailout of the states. It's just absolutely incredible. Let me give you to the broad stroke of what happened minutes ago, and then I'll go into the incredible details. First, Mark Meadows confirms his channel's exclusive reporting for 2 days that the deals are going to be hatched in the Senate, not the Temple of Doom, and that's going to be done by both Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats. Second, Mark Meadows confirms his channel's reporting that he's been negotiating with Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats for weeks quietly to get this done. 3, he also confirms his channel's reporting that Mitch McConnell is quietly behind all of this, the magician of legislative action. If you didn't watch our special about Mitch last night, we detailed that as well. 4th, he indicates that basically it's going to track the $1.3 trillion offer from the president, but could go slightly higher. It will have everything that you want, everything that we need, and it won't have an incredible amount of pork. 5th, also really incredible news is that this deal will be hatched, formulated, could get a vote next week. He thinks it's going to move very, very quickly. 6th, he basically did what this channel did last night, which was say, hey, let's look at the numbers of the situation. Remember that Moody's Analytics report that I detailed yesterday, I think twice on 2 different videos, that said the Temple of Doom's numbers are unsupported financially by any calculation or any calculator, whether it's Larry Kudlow's calculator or someone else's? He confirmed that as well. Okay, let's get to the incredible details. A second stimulus check and stimulus package deal will be hatched as early as next week, with a potential vote and movement to become law as early as next week, Mark Meadows confirmed minutes ago. Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff to the President, confirmed this channel's reporting by appearing on Squawk Box, this morning show on CNBC, and was asked by no less than 3 reporters a series of questions about where is stimulus negotiations right now, when will we see checks, when would they land? And the answers were incredible. I'm going to go through each of them very slowly for you, because this is probably the most comprehensive report you will ever hear on any channel about stimulus this month. It is the most comprehensive interview that Mark Meadows has ever given about stimulus. It is the most in-depth analysis about what is going on. And 4th, it really, really gives incredible clarity of the situation. Congratulations. I mean, we all deserve this. First, he said, this is him referring to a conversation with the Speaker of the House. This is him talking to her during the interview. He says, you say, Temple Doom, that you have a certain amount allocated for this program, but another amount for that program. And how do you build upon it? You have to be, and then he switches and turns to the camera. He tells the interviewer, you have to build up your numbers based upon facts. Build it upon the cost of each program. He basically at that point is saying in the interview that that 2.3, 3.3, 2.4, that ever-evolving changing number from the Temple of Doom is not based upon facts. It's just a number. If this sounds familiar, it should. This is what I reported yesterday, that that Meadows specifically said to the Temple of Doom, okay, what is 2.4? What comprises 2.4? And she doesn't tell you. She doesn't tell you. How many times have I said in the last 3 days, this woman has the audacity to be a House representative leader and never tell you what the number is comprised of. She just tells you a number, and she actually says, give me 2.4 or don't come back. What's 2.4? What comprises 2.4? And then she says 2.3. Okay, where did the 0.1 go away to? Did it, evaporate with the bats? I mean, where did the 1.1 go? Then she goes to 2.2. Where did that 0.2 go? Did it, go to clean Gavin's rims on his car? I mean, where did it go? So you really don't know. Let me continue with what Meadows says. As we've had discussions, okay, pause. What discussions? Yes, I told you. I do. This is why I know what I'm doing. Meadows has had chats non-stop for weeks with Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats. Remember, this is Senate. This is not Temple of Doom. This is not a House of Horrors. This is the Senate. And remember my reporting that he's trying to through the Senate and get it done there? Yeah. So listen to what he says. As we have had discussions with Democrats, not even Republicans, Democrats. And we continue to have discussions with Republican senators as we're making progress in the Senate. We're looking at the number of things and we're growing it to among those things they're agreeing upon for state and local. Okay, there's a lot in that sentence. First, what he's saying is what I'm reporting, that the White House with Mnuchin and Meadows has not been talking to the House of Horrors because she says, don't come back. Okay, we're not coming back to the House of Horrors. We really don't like the bats there anyway. They're not very friendly. So we're dealing with Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats. Who are the Democrats? I already told you, the progressives in the Senate, want enormous amounts of stimulus, and they want it now. They're not on book with House of Horrors and her thing about don't come back to me. Don't come back to me is not a progressive analysis. Progressive analysis is give me money now, not wait 3 months, honey. Now let's go to the next sentence. This is really what's important. That really just, my hands were typing incredible. By the way, this is me typing dictation at 6 a.m. in the morning. This is not taken from a transcript. This is not, I'm sitting and just pressing them and playing a rebroadcast or something. I'm doing incredible analytical reports for you right now. He says the speaker, Temple of Doom, is at $915 billion for state and local. That's not a real number for lost budgets. Okay. Here you get where the Temple of Doom is going to crash, or is crashing as you're watching this video. Temple of Doom, if you recall, walked out of the negotiations, ended the negotiations with Meadows and Mnuchin, what was it, 3 weeks ago? Because state and local was not being provided to her. And I remember the next Monday morning, Mnuchin was on the same channel I'm reporting, CNBC, and he said her number for state and local is unsupported. She's trying to do a bailout of Gavin and Andrew. Gavin and Andrew have a fortune from the first stimulus package in their coffers, money we gave to them. They haven't used it. They have been given more flexibility how to use it, and now they're coming back for more money. Before I continue with what Meadows said, more confirmation about my reporting on this specific subject matter overnight. First, Andrew Cuomo confirmed that he's having to go loan money, borrow money, which he didn't want to do because he now sees that the person who is going to write him a nice grant check is not coming through. Yeah, the House of Horrors is not getting him his free grant. So he's actually confirmed that his his legislative body in New York is ready to go out and loan and borrow, which they were supposed to in the first place. Second, the Federal Reserve continues to confirm that they have fortunes, billions of dollars allocated for state and local there to borrow for state of New York, California, all these jurisdictions. It's still sitting there. None of these people have gone, these states have gone and borrowed from it when it was allocated for them. Why? Because they want free money. By the way, just an aside before I continue, the Temple of Doom that wants to give free grant money to New York and California, why has she not gotten your grant for EIDL loan or EIDL grant? Why has she not gotten the remainder of your $10,000 grant that was yours? I mean, that's a Democratic position, isn't it? Why has she gotten the remainder of your $10,000 grant or EIDL grant? But she wants to go get grant for Andrew and Gavin? Very bad. Very, very bad. Let's go back to this $915 bailout of the state and local. I mean, this is incredible, great news. He said that what Mnuchin himself, and this is where it's keying up, Senate Finance Committee members looked at each state and figured out how much money they are in a shortfall. If you don't understand, because of COVID-19, several states are in a financial shortfall because they're not going to get enough revenue from taxes from businesses because the businesses were closed. For example, a restaurant's closed and would have paid $10,000 in revenue tax to the state. The state's not getting that $10,000, so the state is short $10,000. That's what a revenue shortfall means. Very, very simple. It's from COVID-19. It's from March till now. That's what a revenue shortfall is. They went through the analysis and he said, okay, in the first CARES Act, they had maybe like a revenue shortfall of about $150 billion. We think that there's still about $150 billion in shortfall, perhaps still unaccounted for, covered in the first CARES Act. To be careful, we'll give them another $150 billion for state and local. He says that would amount to $300 billion for state and local that will cover their loss for COVID-19, their loss now, from March to now. That is taking up, and this is where I couldn't transcribe fast enough. He went very, very quick. He says that's taking GDP, the gross national product, we're calculating it based upon what they would have lost, and it's coming up to about $300 billion. They don't need $916 billion, $915 billion. If this sounds familiar, this is the reporting I did yesterday as well. I mean, Moody's Analytics, as I reported twice in yesterday's videos, did an analysis of where states are short on their budget because of COVID-19 and determined exactly what I just told you, about $200 billion they're short on money for this COVID-19 problem. There is absolutely zero. When I mean zero, I mean it's ridiculous. It's like clown colors. It's like circus acts to say that state and local needs $915 billion. It's ridiculous. Now you see why Steve Mnuchin, who's a relatively calm guy, was literally jumping through the camera 3 weeks ago and saying this is insane, $915 billion. The reason why is because what she is trying to do, and this is one of the few times I'm going to refer to her, Nancy Pelosi was trying to give Andrew Coburn and Gavin Newsom grant money for 2 years and holding up your damn checks. How dare her? She should be ashamed of herself. She had no idea what she was doing at best, or at worst, knew exactly what she was doing. She was trying to give free grant money to 2 states with a New York governor, with a New York negotiator in the room, Chuck Schumer, grant money for two years that had nothing to do with COVID-19. The shortfall on states is about $300 billion, and this is not just coming from Mark Meadows. It has been confirmed by independent analytics, which I detailed yesterday. So let's go back to the incredible details, as I got a little ranty there on the morning broadcast. I apologize. But he says Mnuchin's looking at the facts and the numbers. Remember, Mnuchin's is Goldman Sachs. He's a numbers guy. He does numbers for a living, as I do as well. He says, I'm looking, we're not trying to do a bailout. He says, we need to possibly deal with stability of revenue. So this is also really good. He's basically saying $300 billion is not just to say we're going to take care of you, state and local up to now. We want to stabilize you for a few months going forward. We're not going to stabilize you for 2 years. Here we go back to the rest of the incredible reporting. So when would you get stimulus checks? How would they land? What would this do? How would this deal formulate? We've made progress with Democrats on the Hill. We've had real deal and real negotiations and real discussions behind closed doors over recent weeks. Oh boy. And to those channels that said there's nothing going on, nothing has happened, there's nothing going on, why are you recording? Oh, there's been something going on every single minute. Let me continue with what he says. He said he's been talking with people round the clock for days into the middle of the night. Whether it's Brasso and McConnell, Senate Republicans will pass the bill with a 60-vote threshold next week. Excuse me, did you hear that? Did you hear that? You will get a stimulus package approved next week by vote, is what Meadows said minutes ago. And it's going to come in the Senate. Yeah, who told you that? Purple power. Purple power. Next, let me get to some of the questions he was then asked. The first question was, will the package that comes out next week be the $2 trillion bill, or will it be a skinny bill, or will 1.3? Let's understand where we are. We have that skinny talk. We have Temple of Doom at 2.4, too crazy something. Too crazy. That's a new name for her. And then we have the president's offer last week of 1.3 billion. He says it won't be 2.2. That's not based upon facts. Temple of Doom. And it's not based upon reality. It's more difficult to support it with actual numbers. Basically saying she can't support anything that she's talking about with numbers. There's really no numbers for there. Senate is looking at maybe a $500 bill and then add from that and taking it as a foundation, and then we'll agree upon the targeted program, sign into law, and then do done deal. We don't have to agree upon all the individuals. Okay, let me explain to you, because I know this one's going to cause a lot of confusion because he's a little bit unclear based upon the question. There's two ways that Meadows is perhaps doing this. Both ways get you the stimulus checks. Both ways get you enhanced unemployment benefits. So don't worry about this. It's just, it's not even stuff that concerns you. The first version may be a really narrowly tailored $500 billion bill to get things out very quickly, okay? Which would be stimulus checks. Absolutely. And it may be called skinny bill, but it's not the one from last week that Forbes wants to make you nervous that you're not getting a stimulus check. Just that bad reporting. So please stop sending me that link. I've seen that link. The other version is it could be the presidential version of 1.3. Meadows is floating both possibilities. With the $500 billion version, he says we would start with something that's absolutely 100% agreed upon and get that done, and then come back and do the things that maybe take a little bit more time, state and local, $300 billion, and do it from there, or do both of them together as one bill. It looks like he's going to do the quicker one first, which, hallelujah, I mean, that's what the one you want. It's not a standalone bill, but basically 3 standalone bills put together. It's a series of standalone bills put together. And I don't like the word skinny bill because the skinny bill got such a bad reputation last week. And it's not that skinny bill either. Then he was asked a question, yesterday, Jim Cramer wondered whether Americans can survive without stimulus. Ooh, scary question. Yeah, that's a scary question. He said no. That's a good answer. The vast majority of it has been negotiations. Mnuchin has been looking at the needs. We have the small businesses who absolutely need needs. We have the individual who needs needs. This is great. I mean, these are great words. Great words. What is needed is continuing to operate. Airlines have an issue. Enhanced unemployment, K-12 supplements, and stimulus checks. His exact words. So that might be what this narrowly tailored, I guess is an expression I'm going to use because I don't like the skinny bill term because that just confused a lot of people, might include stimulus checks, K-12 supplements, enhanced unemployment benefits, FPUC, and airlines. That might be a 4 or 5 item. I've told you that likely is what this bill is going to look like. There's a broad agreement on that. He says there's a broad agreement on those 4 or 5 things. Leader McConnell started with a $1 trillion goal, and we're actually now north of that at $1.3 billion, but we're not near $2.2 billion because that number doesn't support where we are. Senate Republicans will broker the deal. Boy. So basically he's saying you can get this done with all the things that we need, and that comes under about $500 billion. But he's happy to go to 1.3. We'll either do the whole 1.3 now, or we'll do it in a second stage right after it. There's been the next question was a really good question. There's been rapid progress in April, and now it's just a little bit slow, the negotiations. And one article said that you were the difference. Remember that article? I read the article on camera. Jerry Connolly, not Jerry O'Connell, not the comedian. and that closing deals is not your track record, Mark. What is your response? He says, well, I've worked on stuff together. They seem to forget that I was part of CARES Act 3. Remember, there's really 5 stimulus packages, and he was involved with the 4th and the 3rd. But we've been working late into the negotiations in the middle of the night. I've worked on testing and hospitals relief for the COVID-19. Anything we can set our minds to, we're going to get back to and get it done. Listen, there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. Manoush and I have been working overnight, and we're going to get it to the end, and we're going to get it done. Finally, executive actions. He's asked about executive actions. Let me just do it really quickly because I don't want this video to go too long. Will the president do executive actions? He basically said, hey, the president is the one who worked when negotiations broke down, and he will, we have considered doing executive actions. Congress is not breaking down now. Congress is going to work and get the act done, but the president has made clear that if they don't, he's ready to act. Incredible, great news. If there was ever a time to like and subscribe to the channel, this is the time. Please do me a couple favors. Hit the subscribe button on the front of this channel. No one else is reporting. I mean, who's up at 6 o'clock in the morning transcribing CNBC to give you correct news? I'm not cutting and pasting some article and just reading from a newspaper article. I'm actually giving you correct information. I'm telling you things before they're happening, as I've done in the last 3 days, telling you this was going to happen 3 days ago. So I'm ahead of the ball. I'm not behind the ball. I'm not reporting stuff after the fact. So please subscribe to this channel, the subscribe button in the front of this channel, and please hit that alert button so you can alert when something goes live. I sent an alert about this shortly after 6:30 a.m. before I even started to record, so you could hear this, because this is incredible breaking news. Next, like this video. If there's ever a video that should get 20,000 likes, 20,000, this is the video. And it really helps so that this video goes higher in the ranks than other videos that are really just talking about, crap. I mean, it's just, we see the crap. It's just, I mean, maybe there'll be Vogue dancers one day. And finally, to that fourth couple that yeah, there was a fourth couple. Finally, personal note. To the extent that yesterday's video caused a couple confusions, I'm sorry. Went up, went down. I took it up, I took it down. The video in the afternoon started with a joke in the opening remark. A joke was actually based upon the actual relations that a couple was having, and some people misunderstood the joke, so I edited it back. I put it back up. The earlier video in the morning had a processing problem with the back end of YouTube, not again with me. That's why it was slow. So these things are not my doing. Just come. I'm here. Purple Power. Here we go. Get ready for afternoons. Join me at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, 2-hour programming block. Watch all those videos, and then join me for evenings LLA at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and get ready for your stimulus checks. And stay up LA for more.